Right, we're live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We're here for the third quarter final of the Vancouver Sevens. Argentina taking on England in what should be a very exciting game. Looking through at the Argentine starting lineup: Schultz, Del Mestre, also there, De La Vega, Raval, Gonzalez, Marcos Maneta, and it will be Wade. Also there, then looking through at England, it is Jamie Barden, Bavardra, Adamson, Dan Norton, announcing his retirement, I should say, earlier on. So it's nice that England have been able to make it as far as they have in this competition. Then from there, Alex Davis, Blake Boyland, and Frederick Roddick in that starting lineup. But it will be Roddick kicking off this one. We already know on the other side of the draw, it is Fiji versus Samoa for the semi-final. It should be an absolutely awesome game. That's going to be a big knock on there from England, I thought. But I think they said that it's actually come off Argentina, and it's a penalty to Argentina now from about 25 meters out from their own line. Raval goes across. They need to make sure that they used probably Jermaine Schultz, use that crash ball, but they've also got that man Luciano Gonzalez, ball out to Marcos Maneta, the young player of the year for the seventh side of things. That ball's popping out a little bit for Argentina, and sad time for South Africa, says Barry Green. Yeah, did not go their way in that semi-final, that is for sure. Nice run forward from Johan De La Vega. Now big run from big Jermaine Schultz, bumping out of 3 tackles, offload up nicely. And they are still continuing to drive their way forward. Wade on the outside. Luciano Gonzalez. He goes in. And that will be the first try of the match for Argentina. Hello, Amish Process for Charles. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing well. So like I mentioned, Fiji versus Samoa. That will be the matchup for the semi-final. Then on the other side of the draw here, it's going to be the winner of this game between Argentina and England. They will be taking on the winner of New Zealand versus Australia. And that is going to be a trans-Tasman rivalry game. It should be absolutely awesome to see. That's nicely done. In the end, going over, Luciano Gonzalez does end up scoring the try. He's just a wrecking ball. Even though South Africa lost, so proud, kept on fighting despite the odds as well, says Barry Green. Yeah, they were still able to get themselves that final try of the match. It's something just went wrong in that first half. And if it's just based off the second half, they were actually able to get themselves, I believe, more points on the board than Samoa, but it just didn't quite work in that first half, and it became too much of a mountain to climb for the blitz box. Raval now going to be kicking off this one. Sure, it's done beautifully by Argentina. Now Marcos Maneta does have this one, trying to go straight through a gap. Dragged down in the end by Davis. And now passing across last time. Hamish Pro, can Argentina win this game last time? They lost very badly. And there says for show. At the moment, they're looking pretty good. Luciano Gonzalez, only 5 minutes out from the line. Raval, that's been knocked out of his hands by Dan Norton. And he now goes to the bin for 2 minutes. Unfortunately, he will be disappointed with that one. I know that he's leaving after this series, but he's left a little bit earlier than he would have liked to. He's just waiting for the replay to have another look at it. But that is going to be now 5 minutes out, and the scrum feed in favor of Argentina. Unfortunately, just slapping it out of the hands of Raval. Like they said, it did go backwards, but it was slapping the ball out of the hands of the 9, which you are not able to do in the game of sevens. Jermaine Schultz, that was some very silky skills. The ball got thrown at him, caught it one-handed, straight into it, and then just handed it over. Like, that man's hand must be massive. And also, Vamos Argentina, Carajo, and as I says, Federico, and at the moment they are trying to make their way through to that semi-final. Wide cutout pass. They haven't got the cover to take down Marcos Maneta, and he scores a try. Argentina get their second, and they are booking themselves close to already a spot through to the semi-final. Marcos Maneta, he scored 5 tries in this Vancouver Sevens so far, and I feel like that is not going to be his last try that we see from him. Definitely not if they have got a semi-final and a final matchup coming up very soon. But whoever ends up winning this game will go through to the semis. Whoever loses this game will go on to face the loser of New Zealand versus Australia. I think first half cost them. Should have had points in the first half. They needed to score. You cannot score or cannot score in the first half. You need any points you can. Exactly right. But now sitting 12-0 in favor of Argentina, and it's the same situation here. England, if they don't get any points, in Argentina, if they get another try, they're not going to be able to come back in this game to the extent that they would like to. I'd love to see England fight here, though. It's going to be taken very nicely by Bavardra, trying to fend off Marcos Maneta, but it's a brilliant low tackle from the World Sevens Rugby Player of the Year 2021. Now, just trying to find the way of making it through the defensive line of Argentina. Big tackle there from De La Vega, though, using up a little bit more time because they do want Dan Norton back out on the field. Go Argentina, go. So here's MH Choi. That's going to be a good tackle from Raval, driving him sideways here. Now passing it back across, it will be Jamie Barden here. Currently, they're just not going anywhere. England, it's a bit of trouble. Jermaine Schultz trying to put them under pressure in the breakdown, especially if playoff, you need to get points in the first half to stay in it. Exactly right. So this game coming up between, I believe, South Africa, they are going to be playing France. Who are you picking for that game, Barry? I assume you're back in the blitz box. Can they fight back in that game, do you think? It's going to be nicely done once again, still hanging on to it. Looking around, Alex Davis. Now the short pop pass up. Still going to be hanging on to it very nicely. Alex Davis. This is it across for England. This is a long phase, but they're going straight through now. And that will be a massive one for Blake Boyland. Will score the try. But yeah, England, they were willing to just sit there and wait for the opportunity. And I feel like that is a little bit of that experience. You'd have to say, I was going to say it would be Dan Norton's knowledge, but he wasn't out on the field at that stage. Can they at least end off on a high, or can they at least end off on a high at least? There's Barry Green, but nicely done by Blake Boylan, scoring up between the posts. And there was the gap opening up there. Ken Norton still in the yellow chair, or Dan Norton still in the yellow chair. I believe he's back now once it does go out. And also we've got there Sisinaeli. And the chat as well, welcome and I hope you are doing well currently. Argentina, they have still got themselves a lead with 2 minutes left in this first half, 12 points to 7. But the big question is who will be going through to that semi-final to take on New Zealand or Australia. I'd love to see New Zealand, Argentina again. That is a matchup that I do enjoy seeing. But I would also, that's the thing, New Zealand, Argentina, England versus Australia would be quite cool to see those two matches. A bit of a counter-ruck from Alex Davis, just not quite able to get that one right now. Luciano Gonzalez, the beast, who just keeps on running. Marcos Moneta, pace down the wing. You're not going to catch him, and he is gone, Marcos Moneta. And as much of the cover defense as Dan Norton can offer, wasn't quite able to do so. Gets the tap from Dan Norton, who approves of that try. And also, go Pumas, go. And there says Van Revi. And at the moment, that is another try in favour of Los Pumas. And they will now have the 6th try for Marcos Moneta of the Vancouver Sevens. I know that at the moment at the top, it is actually Va'a Apilo Maliko who has got the most tries out of any player. And currently, Marcos Moneta wants to change that. He's trying to catch up to him. I believe he had 7 for Va'a Apilo Maliko. I think he had 7, yeah. We'll go with that anyway till we are proven otherwise. But nicely done by Marcos Moneta. Kicked over once again for Argentina with a nice kick from Tobias Wade. And now they are sitting with a 19 points to 7 lead over England with only 15 seconds left in this first half. It's kicked in behind, waiting for the ball to pop up. Yes, it does. Just out Vavadra. Now with another good leg drive. He's a beast as well. I feel like I just call everyone a beast, but when you have got that much leg drive strength, like it's just very impressive. Dan Norton now pass that ball back across into the hands of the try scorer here. In fact, no, sorry, it was actually the man at number 6, Jamie Barden. It's a penalty to Argentina, and they've got one last attacking opportunity here, perhaps. Raval takes the quick tap there, nicely set. Argentina actually throwing pretty much everyone on that right-hand side, which does mean that they might have the space opening up. Marcos Moneta, ball on the inside. Now, this is looking brilliant for Argentina, and it's Luciano Gonzalez who goes over, and that will be another try for Argentina in the first half. That is huge for them currently. Well, what we better do, while I remember, I'm going to quickly change the time that my next live stream is starting because I don't believe we're going to be starting at 6:40 for that game. In fact, probably it's more likely to be 6:45, maybe even 6:50. We'll go with 6:45 a.m. for that one just for now. Luciano Gonzalez has been able to get another try there, adding to his tally of 4 in the Singapore Sevens, and that will be now halftime. Brilliant start to the game for Argentina, 26 points to 7 up over England. And as long as something drastic doesn't happen in the second half, Argentina should be going through to the semi-final. I mean, the coaches, they'll be impressed with the way the Los Pumas are playing. They are playing, or they're just playing like a fired-up side who want to keep on succeeding. Currently, still off the bench, they've got a couple options. Rodrigo Isgro, also Verafeld Sabato as 3 guys. But currently 8 minutes away from New Zealand versus Australia. starting up. And yes, a Puma All Black semi in the making. Says MH Joy. It could be, although we cannot underestimate Australia, because Australia are a tough side when they do get it going. Come on, Pumas. Says Federico there. And England off the bench, they have got Coulson, they have got Randall, also Browning, and Will Homer. He was actually a super sub a little bit earlier on in the competition. But for now, Argentina, they've got a brilliant lead, 19 points difference between them and England in this one. But there's semi-final that is taking place between, it will be Argentina and the winner of New Zealand and Australia. That will be at 10:06 a.m. New Zealand time. So we will be covering that on the channel also. But then after this game, we've actually got a little 2-hour stint where we haven't got too much going on. So we might end up, okay, some people are dressed for a wedding by the looks of it. But yeah, I think we might be able to do a preview for one of the games coming up. Hopefully, if we can fit it in. So that will be probably Samoa versus Fiji for that one, which will be quite an awesome matchup to be able to preview, because that is going to be an outstanding game. Like, both of those sides are going to fight hard, and it's going to be so tricky to decide who is going to win that game, because Fiji should, but Samoa, the way that they played in that semi-final, anything can happen in the sevens. That has been proven many times over. It's nicely done. Marcos Maneta has it once again for Los Pumas. He dragged down there in the tackle. Jermaine Schultz goes back across to Raval, and it's the same situation as that match between Samoa and South Africa. All the position is just going to one side, and that is the side that are winning. Dan Norton almost able to force the man into touch. It's nicely done. Now back on the side of Argentina, so they did lose position for half a second. Now Jermaine Schultz, nice offload out the back. That is going to be in the hands of Verafeld. Now short side, Marcos Moneta, good tackle on him by Dan Norton. Oh, high tackle, unlucky there for Dan Norton. And also, what's wrong with the English team? Every time they are playing well in the Seven League Championship. And there says Michelle, unfortunately, I think they're definitely an up-and-coming side, England, I would say. They've got a lot of young players in their lineup. And once they lose that experienced head of Dan Norton, I feel they'll have quite a rebuilding stage, because they do like to take the young players from the Premiership and give themselves just a little bit more opportunity to, I guess, develop their game and eventually transition them. But it's just a tricky one for them in the earlier stages. That is going to be the sub BMA. Browning, he will be going on, and that is for Bavadra. And also, howdy, I hope you're all well. Says Katie Dixon, we are indeed. And currently, Samoa, they will be loving it. Fiji, they will be loving it. Argentina will be loving it. But the question probably more is who will be loving it out of New Zealand or Australia. That is the next game that is taking place. I'm in a very hyper mood for 6:40 a.m., aren't I? Currently now, down to Raval, passes it across. Nicely done once again by Argentina. Every run that they've made, they have made meters. That's another penalty to Argentina. Raval passes it off now to their number 7, Velez. He does go over, and that will be another try for Argentina. They are sending a message to whoever they face in the semi-final, but it is going to be a beautiful try for Lautaro Bazan Velez. Was able to score, and also welcome Katie, says MH Joy, and also hello Katie, sister, how are you? And then also, hey brother, I hope you're well too. Well, I hope you're well today. And there's Katie Dixon. Currently 5 minutes left in this game, and this is pretty one-sided, I'll be honest. It's not quite gone the way that England would have been hoping for. Strikes it nicely, and that one has gone over. So I've just realised whoever loses that game between Australia and New Zealand will be facing England. So we'll get to see either Australia versus England or New Zealand versus England. Also, hey, brother, I'm doing good. I drank a lot of tea, so I'm buzzing like a lawnmower 2.0. Nice. Brand deal. And also, we're going to have Easter day, Katie, sister. I hope you enjoyed this Easter. Yeah, and also, we've got there, yes, Pumas, says MH Joy. And now passed across their backline, Dan Norton. Kenny, I'd love to see him score a try in this matchup, just because he has had such a long career for England. He deserves one at the end. Passing it across. One more big run from England might be on the cards here. Still 4 minutes left. So they have got a little bit of time. And I'll say, yeah, I was extra wrong in there as well. Here's Katie Dixon. Yeah, good old brand deal. You gotta love one. But now, going back across. Now, one more out to Davis. Oh, Dan Norton's dropped the ball, but it's going back for the penalty. He's not happy, Dan Norton there. And also, we've got All Blacks, all Wallabies in the semi. Next match, stay tuned, everyone, says MH Joy, exactly right. And then we have got our preview coming out for the matchup between Samoa and Fiji. We'll be coming up, and also we look at the Yes Happy Easter, and there says Katie Dixon. Oh, that's reminded me. I think George is coming around today, and we're going to be filming an Easter egg hunt video. So that's something to look forward to. And also, we tried to film yesterday, but George's console decided it needed an update. And then his console finished the update, and then his FIFA decided that it needed an update. So we didn't actually get to play, unfortunately, yesterday. But today, he is going to be coming back around. He said to me, right, you better be free in the afternoon. And I am. Luckily, it was an easy win, England. And as I says Nozzy, now going to be passing it across to Homer. Nice tackle on him. Now looking to the short side, Dan Norton. Once again, rush defense on him. He's just going to stay on his feet for now. And now goes down. And also we have got there Malvinas, Argentina in there. There's Nozzy as well. And currently Argentina, they are doing extremely well in this game. Good fend there for England. Ball on the outside. Now it's going to be a bit of a foot race. And it will be down the wing, Joe Browning, who does end up picking up the try. Oh, he's been hit hard afterwards. After putting the ball down. And also, we've got the Hamish Pro, New Zealand versus Australia. It's a trans-Tasman battle. It certainly is. And England. And there, as well, says Nozzy. And also, we've got there the George and the Hamish. Although I don't know how many eggs we have got. And I feel like George will get a majority of them just because it's Easter. You know, you got to do your giving of the Easter eggs. But I got my dad to write out the riddles of the question. So, don't know what's going to be in there. But it's going to be some sort of tricky one that's gone out to the side. 12 points to 12. That's a lie. 12 points to 33 in this game. 2 minutes left in this fixture now. There we are, moving on to our next game, which is going to be New Zealand versus Australia. Currently, they are running just a tad behind in terms of the scheduled times. That's all right. Now, Argentina selling the dummy, trying to go straight through, unable to pick and go there. Good leg drive on the halfway line here for Los Pumas. And also, England are trying to come back. Let's see what they do. And there's Katie Dixon backline movement now for Argentina. And this is going to be tricky for them. Oh, it's a good pace. It's a brilliant run. And it will now be another try for Argentina. It was Franco Sabato who did end up scoring the try for Argentina. Now they will move up to 38 points on the board here. Argentina, is this almost, I don't know what the biggest deficit is between these two sides, but I'd have to think that this is getting relatively close to it. But Sabato, he was going to put the ball down. He waited a little bit longer, and then the English player pushed them, and also time ran out for England. And then, did anyone watch this Stade Francais versus Racing 92 game? I didn't get a chance to. I was sadly sleeping. It was probably quite good that I was sleeping, but I didn't. Was it a good one or was it a bad one? Good or bad? Was it even good? Hopefully it's good, because I think I'm going to watch it later on. Maybe not. Tell me the result. Those are probably the wrong time for action. And there, as I says Katie Dixon, that one's gone up now for Raval. Going just short of the 10 metres, but they have been able to just retain that one as well. Argentina, till that penalty came in favour of England. And now they are going to have another late chance with Jamie Adamson. He's actually been out there the whole time. And I say it all the time. England have got about 4 guys who all look pretty similar. So it was always very tricky to work out. That's going to be a good run. Oh, he's ankle tapped. He still slides over, though. And that would have hurt the knee, I would have thought, for Callum Randall. But he still goes over, scores the try. England, they take the quick kick. They didn't really need that one to go over. They just wanted one last attacking opportunity up against the Argentines. But it's a good run from Jamie Addison. And then from there, nice ball on the inside of Callum Randall. If you're a Stade Francais fan, then at first it was going great. And then they blew it. But it was mind-blowingly feral. And they're nice. So I guess then they blew it. Does that mean that Racing 92 are going through? Maybe. Because I know that Racing 92, if they go through, they have to take on, I believe it was, who do they play? Actually, now that I think about it, I think they play another French team. Maybe. Oh, unless they play Sale Sharks or Bristol Bears, actually, it might be there. Yeah, Racing going through. And there's now Raval taking the quick tap on the halfway line here for Argentina. One last attack and play for the men wearing the blue and the white, and they will be wearing that all the way through to the semi-final. Backline movement once again. They're going to be closing in on the 50 if they score one more. Raval, he will be still lurking on the outside. It's a penalty there to England. Right. They're going to have another last attacking opportunity. Racing 2 well-known comeback kids. And there as well says he made shy, but currently now it's going to almost be another penalty. The referee was so close to blowing the whistle. Instead now one more play here for England. It's going to be a backline. No, his foot is in touch. And that is going to be the end of the game. 40 points to 17. And that is going to be the end of the game. And I was like, Carajo, go Pumas, as says Federico. So yeah, their next game will be at 10:06 a.m. New Zealand time. And Finn Russell missed the kick. Oh, that was so cringy. Almost like he slipped on a banana peel. I felt bad for him. He never misses. And there's us, there's Katie Dixon. Nonetheless, we better go over to our next one. It is going to be New Zealand versus Australia. And I will see you all in a very short